I see it every day. I see the tip of the spear of these amazing tech startups that are working to build this out. And I just believe it, deep in my bones.
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
And you've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
Web 3.0. What is that?
Sure. Yeah, we're really big in that. So of the 20 companies that we've invested in, only 2 of them had a Web3 strategy the day we invested, but now 9 of them do. So
Okay.
It has really come hard and fast. And I spend a lot of my time around Web3. And, it's really the intersection of using, whether it's crypto tokens, fan tokens, NFTs or digital collectibles, or these crypto-centric companies called DAOs to create new ways to engage your fans. And that can be anything from a sports team to a TV or movie company to a music company, a podcast company, a video game developer, and even we're seeing fitness apps using these new technologies. And my core belief is, just like in 2000, people were saying, I don't need a website for my business. Well, all those people who did that either capitulated or are out of business now.
Right.
And that's Web's 1. Web 2 was around 2010 when people would have said, I don't need a social media account. That's not relevant for my business. Well, they either gave up and capitulated and built their social media, or they're gone by now. And the same thing we think is happening now. Using these new tools to bring your customers, your fans closer to your business. It's not about, can I create the next funny ape cartoon and make hundreds of thousands of dollars on these things? Those are anomalies. They're nice, they're fun, they make a lot of headlines, but that's not going to work. And that's played out. It's much more about, you see huge brands and companies, the NBA, Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers Studios, major music acts, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Topps playing cards is, I think, the best deployment of NFTs yet.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. And, we're seeing this happen in all these different areas. Nike purchased a NFT sneaker company called Artifact. And they're leaning into that and seeing great success. Adidas has done stuff in the space. So these are iconic brands, and they're utilizing this technology. And it's just a way to, I hate the term NFT. It's so off-putting. It's a digital collectible, or it's a digital pass or membership. And the way that these are being used now and the creativity that we're seeing, it's changing industries at such a rapid clip. NBA Top Shot, the digital collectibles for the basketball league, they sold over $1 billion in their first 18 months of those digital collectibles. I mean, think of another product that's gone from 0 to $1 billion in 18 months. I mean, sure, like the iPhone, but that was from a company that's been around for 30 years. This was a brand new invention that sold this much from a company that was, basically unknown before that. So it's amazing. I think it's going to impact every industry that's consumer facing in any way. Are going to have to lean into this at some point. And, look, the crypto market sell off, the hit to Bitcoin and everything, that made a lot of headlines. It's going to slow adoption. There's just no doubt about it, right? It's going to slow adoption, and it's going to give all the naysayers the ability to go, I told you so. I mean, those things were so risky, but it's going to keep coming. There's too many amazing, smart technology developers jumping into this space. There's billions and billions of dollars of venture capital that's been accumulated to invest in these types of companies. That is attracting some of the best and brightest minds in the country. It's opening the eyes of these very, very large, well-established brands and companies to get involved in the space. We're going to see amazing stuff happen over the next 5 years.
Right. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing with NFTs here at Clicks and Bricks. Is one, we're working on an NFT for the guests as well, but also part of C-Suite Network. They're working on a whole system to where our viewers will get NFTs for viewing the show, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll get some kind of benefit, some kind of, hey, I know about this topic because I watched this show. I think it'll be your certificate for education. I don't think we're going to get diplomas anymore. We're going to have some kind of digital certificate. All of our identifications going there. Every movie, TV, everything you do is going to be transacted through an NFT of some kind, right? And actually, probably more fungible tokens will be coming out. I believe for these like one-on-one the very transactional stuff that is value for value. There's no reason not to have them.
I don't know, Ken, if you've been reading my my weekly newsletter on this, but you're bang on with my thoughts. You know, I believe your driver's license, your passport, your diploma, your credit cards, your house deed, your car title, all of this will move on chain. Look, some of these things will take up to 10 years. There's going to be institutional resistance. There's going to be regulatory issues. There's going to be powerful entrenched competitors that fight back against this in different ways. But it's coming. It's coming. It just makes so much sense. You know, the provable nature of a blockchain will allow for those things to be digitized, so you don't have to hand over your passport, your driver's license, your credit card anymore. It'll be all verified and on chain in a way that makes it safe and secure. And you know, there's a lot that needs to be done. The technology is still too messy. The user experience is not great, but it is all coming. And I see it every day. I see the tip of the spear of these amazing tech startups that are working to build this out. And I just believe it, you know, deep in my bones that it's coming.
Absolutely. I think, you know, for the past 15, 20 years, we've been saying, oh, you know, Google was made from some kids in their garage, and Amazon, you know, was started with a guy on a desk. And both those companies need to be tested, right? And it's so hard to test them with another two kids in a garage, but with decentralization, there's a real shot at going after an Amazon or a Google, right? Because, you know, I'm a huge fan. I've made a huge investment, or significant investment, into IPFS, which is the Internet Protocol file sharing system, right? With Filecoins. I think that's going to be a huge play long term but it's probably 5 or 6 years away before we'll see that return, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
that kind of tech's going to go against Google direct.
Absolutely. And the recent market's going to slow things down in a couple different areas. But, you know, look, I even think we'll see people going after the social networks. There's a concept of decentralized social networks. It was thrown around a lot when first Elon Musk made the bid for Twitter. Who knows where the heck that thing's going to end up these days? But you know, there's been a strong push. Jack, you know, Dorsey, who founded Twitter, is a big fan of decentralization. There's ways that you could see your tweets, your Instagram posts, your TikTok videos attached not to their platform, but to your identity, to your wallet.
Correct.
And then different platforms over time can build to grab those from you, tied into your follower base that wouldn't be dependent on the individual platform, right? Not everybody who follows you on Twitter follows you on LinkedIn, follows you on Facebook, right? There's different groups. But in a decentralized way, those followers could follow your identity, and then they could consume the content that you produce, whether it's video, audio, text, or pictures, in the place that they want to consume it. And that's the concept of decentralized social. We've seen some really interesting experiments. It's still very early days there, but I think we'll see it. I don't think the incumbents will wreck their own business models to do it. It's going to take somebody from the outside coming in with less to lose. I mean, you know, look, Facebook's got a many billion, you know, tens of billions of dollar ad business. They're not going to, you know, disrupt themselves most likely. But I think it's coming, and we'll see some really interesting things there. We're active investors in the fitness category. We've invested in, you know, wearable devices like Oura Ring, which is a ring that you wear on your finger. It does a lot of the same stuff as an Apple Watch, but it's in a ring format. We invested in a smart bed called 8 Sleep that monitors you during your sleep and helps you to fall asleep faster. It's kind of heating and cooling cables and things. We invested in a fitness coaching app called Future. You know, when you look at all these things, the hardest part around fitness or working out is just getting people into a routine and sticking them there, getting them to stick with whatever it is that's good for them, whatever modality of working out you like, whether that's going for a run or a bike ride or riding a Peloton or playing hoops or whatever it may be. Just sticking with it, staying consistent is the hardest part. And we're seeing some really neat and fun experimental companies that are doing things that are, compensating, giving you either NFTs or giving you tokens for just staying active, or kind of letting you bet against yourself. I bet I can get 30 minutes of workout in every day this month. And maybe I put some tokens or an NFT at risk, so to speak, where I bet against myself and my own ability to stay active and hit my fitness goals. And there's some really cool stuff going on in there, and some, just some really creative applications of this new technology, to get to the right outcomes.
Right. So I think on the fitness side, and I own a fitness company as well, and I'm getting ready to dive into another one. But when you're selling fitness as a product, most businesses have two transactions, right? The transaction of me buying the product and me giving them the product. But in the fitness world, you have to have a transaction every day, right? But you're not getting money the second day, but you want to get that recurring revenue the next month. So you've got to make sure that you've got a way to incentivize them to keep using your product, or your churn is just going to go through the roof. So,
Absolutely.
and NFTs, I think, are a really cool way to do that. And I love the concept of betting against yourself. Right.
Yeah, we're starting to see that. The hot term today is move to earn. The more you move, the more you exercise or work out, you earn more cryptocurrency or tokens of some sort, or NFTs. And look, none of these have really worked yet, and then some of them admittedly have some Ponzi-like features to them. There's a wildly popular one called Step In. It's step with the N, Step In, and you buy a virtual NFT sneaker and you load that onto the app in your phone, and it tracks your steps, and they reward you for getting a certain amount of workout in each day. And the thing is like collapsed, like the token's gone down 90% because it was completely poorly designed, but it was red hot, and they went from nothing to 2 million users in less than 6 months. I mean, it was a sensation for a minute. Now, it was completely misbuilt and it wasn't sustainable, but it did show that there's an interest in this, and that if we can see that products designed the right way, really designed for long term, we'll see a hit. We'll see a hit in that sector, I think, in the next 12 months, because smart people are going after it, and money is flowing into the sector to fund development and customer acquisition, and that will carry the day, I think, because the churn problem and the apathy issue in fitness is so hard, so difficult for people to build a habit there and stay consistent. And if these new tools and Web3 tools can be used to make that happen, then it's great for society. It's great for everyone.
Absolutely. I think it's great. And I could talk about selling sports to people or fitness to people all day long. But on a Web 3.0, we've talked a lot about blockchain decentralization. Is that all of Web 3.0, or what is the augmented reality, virtual reality part of all of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, the metaverse was the hot buzzword for the first 6 months of this year.
Like a minute. It
went
away
it's
quick.
Still coming. If you pick
Once
up
people got into Meta, they're like, "Oh, this is next. Yeah, it's gonna be a year before it's decent."
That was definitely a negative, a cringe moment with the change of the name from Facebook to Meta. But hey, look, if you pick up this week's episode of Time Magazine or go to Time's website right now, they got a huge metaverse issue, big metaverse on the front cover. Nobody's really built anything yet that has any kind of scale to it. Have you experimented or used
Post Malone is
Quest?
Right. Post Malone just did a big VR.
Yeah. I mean, look, these kind of metaverse games like Roblox and Fortnite are seeing tens of millions of daily active users. But have you had a chance to try the Quest headset, the VR headset from Facebook, Oculus?
I have like 10 of them right behind me.
They're fantastic, and they're super immersive. Now, look, do I want to sit on one all day? No. Would I be willing to have this conversation with you on my headset? Yeah, sure. It'd be a lot of fun. There's still a lot of work to do, but look, there are millions of those products. Close to 10 million of those were sold. It's a fantastic product for short use. The experiences and things that are on there, the games and the virtual experiences, even they've got a number of fitness games on there now, and they're spectacular.
The boxing game's phenomenal.
Fabulous. And Beat Saber, where you're kind of swinging these lightsabers in the air. Fantastic.
I have a boxing school, and I'll put the headset on and get in the ring and do the VR in the ring, and it feels, I don't know how the heck they did it, but it feels like you're getting punched. It's got a little, it is so cool. It is so much fun.
Look, we're not anywhere near Ready Player One,
No,
the video game or the book if you've read it.
but it's coming close.
It's coming. There are enormous technical challenges to get to
Right.
something of that. To have a persistent virtual world where millions of people would be interacting with each other. Look, Fortnite is a fantastic game and an example, but there's only 100 people in each of those sessions.
Right.
And when they've done the concerts, which have had millions of people, the only way they were able to do it is by wildly restricting what each individual user could do. You could watch the concert, but you couldn't do any of the other stuff you could normally do in Fortnite,
Right.
because the technology is just not there yet. The compute power isn't there. The speed of the internet's not there. And so it's going to take some time to get to the point
Yes.
where it's there. But the beginnings of this are seen in games like Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft. They're seen in some of the great things that Snap is doing with its AR features. They're seen in things like what Niantic is doing with Pokemon Go and interacting with your phone in the real world. And, we've started to see the beginnings of, mostly PC-based metaverse games that are really showing some interesting stuff. We're investors in a company out of the UK called Sportal. They launched the sports metaverse just this week. And that's going to be a place where people can come in and interact with sports fans and teams and leagues and athletes. There'll be watch parties and mini games and prediction games and eventually a sports casino in there. And it's all off a PC game. Eventually, it will be an app on the phone when they can really get the speed where they need it to be. And eventually, it'll be something in a headset. Everybody's hoping that when Apple comes out with its augmented reality glasses, which are rumored to be coming as soon as next year or 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
Just given the way they design products and the amazing types of products that they brought, they could blow people's minds and bring something that is just like a quantum leap forward in the technology. And I think that everyone's kind of hopeful that that's going to be the way it plays out. But
have they ever done that without Jobs there?
Not really. I mean, I guess you could say the AirPods. I mean, that was certainly their most post-job successful product. I mean, there's tens of millions of those sold. Are they really like a technological leap? I don't know, but they're a really successful product. People love them.
Right.
So, maybe we'll see. But they're working on it. Obviously, Facebook is working on it, or Meta is working on it. Microsoft has a product that we've seen some off the back of some of the work that they've done. They have an institutional, like a commercial AR product that they're hoping to bring to the market. They haven't done a great job with consumer products. There's some skepticism there. But yeah, look, I think the metaverse is real. We're going to baby step our way there over the next decade. We're not going to wake up and be in Ready Player One unless there's the only hope for that is quantum computing. If somebody really gets quantum computing to work and we get 100x move forward in compute power,
well, we still got the bandwidth issue,
and even then we'll figure out how to push that over this, over 5G or something.
And it's the writing the data back to the edge data center that's going to be the hard part right now, right? Getting it's okay, but sending it back and writing all that data is a big challenge.
If you're interested in it, there's a fabulous book that was released last week. It's the reason Time did the cover story written by a guy named Matthew Ball. He is the definitive writer on the metaverse. He wrote a 9-part treatise on what it will take to get us there, taking through everything from, kind of what is a metaverse and what is the definition of it and what are the current technical concerns and how are we seeing that. He put it into a book. The book went out last week. He's all over all the tech podcasts, pretty much every tech podcast. He's been on at least 10 that I've seen. And he wrote the cover story that Time has on their, on their magazine that came out this week. So
I'll have to check that out.
There's a lot more to look into. It's heavily technical, but he's a fabulous writer. His name's Matthew Ball. He's very active in social as well. And you can catch him on any of your favorite tech podcasts. He's out there somewhere right now. And wonderful guy, very, very interesting. But we'll see some really great incremental improvement. Will we get Ready Player One? It's 10 years away at least.
Yeah, I think my advice that I tell people, and I can't shout this enough, that at least get the goggles and start immersing yourself, getting used to it, right? Because like people hear this term Web 3.0 and they're like, oh, I'm going to retire before that gets here, or I'm not going to invest my time into that. But what I think is a really, really important aspect is that inside your Web 3.0 world, you're still going to have all the Web 2.0 functionality and all the Web 1.0 functionality. So if you think about a kid, and I know my son, if I put these glasses on him, he might never come out, right? He would, you say short term, but he'd take a USB cord from the ceiling and just walk around the house with it if he could. Your Web 1.0 doesn't go away. Your Web 2.0 profiles don't go away. These kids are going to grow up with these headsets, and they're going to be immersed in a world, and they're going to pull up your 2D website or your flat inside a browser, inside their metaverse, right? They're going to pick up a phone and call your brick and mortar business to set up an appointment, to walk around your store, to make sure that it is something that they're going to be comfortable going to, right? In the real world. So all of these things, this is not a question of if at all. This is a question of when is it going to hit, and are you going to be left out, or are you going to at least have some information about what's going on?
Well, the problem with the metaverse in fiction and in movies and TVs is it does always end in some kind of horrible dystopian environment where, it generally, if you read, the original term metaverse was coined in a book in the 1990s called Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, and it's a real dystopian world, right? People escape to the metaverse because the real world stinks, and Ready Player One is the same thing. Most of the world has got crappy jobs and crappy situations, and they're using the metaverse as an escape from their bad day-to-day life, and I'm hopeful. I'm a hopeful guy in general, but I'm hopeful that it will be positive augmentation of our real world and not the only place to go because everything sucks because that's where it ends up in fiction.
We're in a really weird time in the internet, one that I would not have predicted by far, that TikTok just took the #1 website in the world. Right.
Yep.
So it's no different. TikTok is an escape mechanism for the world. So this is just going to be a different way to escape. And I'm not a fortune teller, and my crystal ball is pretty cloudy most of the time. But I'm 100% positive that all worlds will exist with this new world that we have. Right. There's going to be kids that never leave the metaverse, and there's going to be kids and people that just go in a little bit and here and there. I'm going to be an augmented reality guy. I think education through augmented reality is going to be huge.
Well, I wrote a post about a year ago called Explaining the Metaverse to My 75-Year-Old Mom. So, I had this crazy conversation with my 75-year-old mom down in Miami when she was like, I've heard about this metaverse and what does it mean? And I said, well, let me explain it to you in a way that would be value added. My mom and my sister like to watch Dancing with the Stars. And my sister lives in Boston and my mom's down in Miami. And I said, well, here's how it's going to work in the metaverse. You're both going to put on your Apple glasses or Meta, Facebook Oculus glasses. They're going to be lightweight. They're going to be comfortable. They're not going to feel anything dizzy or any of that stuff because the technology is going to be great. And you're going to be sitting there on your couch in Miami, and my sister's going to be sitting on her couch up in Boston, but you're going to look to the right and you're going to see her sitting right next to you. And maybe one week you're going to watch in your personal fan cave, and on that fan cave and your walls for my mom are going to be pictures of us as kids and my father and our grandkids, and she's going to trick out her personal cave. And then maybe next week you'll watch in my sister's cave. You'll go over to her cave to watch, her fan cave to watch, and she'll have her own decorations in her own spot, and it'll look just like you're talking to her. You'll see a realistic version of her, not some crazy, animal version or dragon. It'll look like her when you guys are hanging out, and you'll be both watching at the same time, interacting with each other. It will feel immersive, like you're sitting in the same room, in the room in your own house or in her house. And, even my 75-year-old mom was like, oh, that's cool. I would do that.
Yeah. I mean, think about being able to pause a football game and walking out onto the field and seeing where that ball was. And I think, I'm pretty familiar with VR scanning right now, and it's great for a single point in time. Once we figure out how to do that, streaming in 3D, I think is going to be a huge amount of fun.
I spoke to a company about 2 months ago. I mean, it's a beast to do, but they can put cameras at like 24 places in a circle around a basketball court. They can scan the entire action, and you can project it through glasses. It'll look like they're playing on your table, almost like the holographic characters in the Star Wars chess looking game. And it is the craziest thing I've seen. Now it's, it's still very expensive, slow, doesn't quite look right yet, but the tech is going there, and it's going there fast.
Yeah. And all things being relative, there will be a grandma and a daughter watching Dancing with the Stars in the metaverse, and there will be somebody watching Dancing with the Stars on a flat 2D screen in their living room without the glasses on. Right?
No doubt.
This is all relative. It's all circular, and it all builds on top of each other. It's a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could literally talk about this topic for I think I'm going to be talking about it for the rest of my life. I don't think it's going to go away. And at this point, Web 3.0 is so new, I can't even fathom what Web 4.0 is going to be like. Right?
Well, if you listen to Jack Dorsey, we're going to skip Web 4 and go straight to Web 5, but he hasn't exactly explained what he means by that. He just got a lot of Twitter heat from it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Web 3.0 is just the next progression. It doesn't delete 2.0 and it doesn't delete 1.0, right? I think the local gym still needs to have his website. The local ice cream shop needs to have a website. How people get to it is going to be different. They used to get it on a big monitor. Now they get it on their phone. They're going to be getting it in their headset or their glasses in the future. All that 2D flat text format stuff is going to have to stay there. It can't go away. Right?
Agreed.
So this is not a delete the other stuff and jump into Web 3.0. This is implement 3.0 and pull your Web 2.0 and Web 1.0 into it.
It'll all work together in a cohesive way once we start to see what the winning platforms look like and the winning technology. And we're still a few years away from that, but we're seeing the beginnings of it. And man, it's just exciting.
It is super exciting, rifled with opportunity, rifled with risk. So tread lightly, folks, and have a good day.
Yes, this is not financial advice. Do your own research.
Yes, talk to your lawyer, talk to your accountants, all that fun stuff. But Brian, I've had so much fun talking with you today. If somebody wanted to learn more about your company or learn more about you, how would they go about doing so?
Yeah, I mean, our website is the BTG Network, or you can Google Beyond the Game Network. I'm active on all the major social platforms, mostly LinkedIn and Twitter under Brian Zwerner. I write a couple of newsletters around what's happening in the crypto space called the Crypto Executive Guide. Kind of built to help executives and businesses, from small businesses to big ones, around what's happening in Web3, crypto, blockchain, and tokens. So yeah, lots of ways to follow me. Start on social, check out our website. We love to get to hear from founders and entrepreneurs who are building in these spaces of entertainment, sports, and media, and gaming, and fitness and health and wellness. Hit us up, let us know. We'll tell you real quick whether you'd be a good fit for some of our investment programs, and always love to hear from new folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ken. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Have a great day. That's it for today's show, folks. If you'd like to join my text line community, the number is 314-370-2871. All you have to do to join that text line is send me any question about business or technology. I'll do all the research, and I'll give you an absolutely free, totally unbiased answer. Get to work.